Hello, my beautiful Aries. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. I'm Helen, and this week we're going to be looking at your mindset. What is going on in your head? We're going to see what kind of mindset you are predominantly in right now, and also what kind of mindset it would be in your highest good to adopt. That's the gist of today's reading. Now, before we get into the cards, I just quickly want to remind you to use your discernment as you're watching this reading, because not all of the messages are going to resonate with every single one of you. Please just take the messages that you feel speak to you personally, and everything else you can cast aside. Okay? If any of the decks that I'm using are of interest to you, you can check them out in the description box. But having said that, let's just get straight to the reading. So we're going to start off first with looking at your mindset. And this time around, I actually decided to kind of switch it up a bit. I'm going to be using, this is a relatively new deck to me. And this is the Archetypes deck by Carolyn Miss. I hope I'm saying it right. So I'm going to be using these archetype cards as well to kind of give us more context about these mindsets that we're going to be looking into. But I decided to do the shuffling part a bit differently. So I'm going to show you as I'm shuffling and laying out the cards, but I'm going to be kind of speeding you guys through that. And then once we have all the cards out, then we'll get into them. So let's do that. Let's see what we can find out about you. So as you can see, I did some rearranging with the cards so that we could have more space and it would be a more clear picture of the cards. So it's interesting that you got two cards coming out together over here, and then two of these archetypal cards coming out as well. So you're getting a nice kind of pair. It's just an interesting synchronicity. But if we talk about your cards now, I'm getting the sense that you may not be actually like the most content with your life and with where you are and how things are in your life. But that at the same time, you kind of keep finding ways to justify that way of life for yourself. And so you kind of end up just kind of drifting with these different circumstances instead of actually like diving deep into the issue and changing things from the core. Because let's look at your current mindset right now. We got deep knowing and we got the hedonist archetype. And with these two cards, I get a very strong sense that you may kind of tell yourself that you are happy, that you are good, that you are, that everything is well, you have nothing to really complain about. But I see you being very, very deep in your comfort zone and feeling very reluctant to leave that comfort zone, to leave that safety. And that comfort that you're so used to, and that is kind of the source of the justification that you kind of tell yourself, or that's your comfort zone is kind of the part that is talking when you are justifying why you are staying in a situation that isn't actually like making you truly happy. And I'm saying that because of this underlying energy here, actually both of those. We got happy in reverse, and we have shapeshifter. So I'm getting a very strong sense that that there is some self-deception going on here. Not like, it's maybe not in anything major. I don't necessarily see anything like very, very seriously wrong in your life or anything being completely amiss, but I just kind of see you maybe being too much in that safe zone of yours and not really wanting to explore outward to see what else you could discover, to see how other, like what other ways there would be for you to live your life, what other ways of living there are for you. So when we get to the cards that are coming out as suggestions or as advice for you for the kind of the mindset to adopt more or to take on more, we're getting a very interesting, like if you can see as well, we have this Pioneer and we have this Liberator card. Both of those coming out together, which are suggesting some kind of moving forward in a new direction. And even in this section over here, I find it again a very interesting synchronicity that we're getting by the book in reverse, and we're getting these two very strong cards talking about doing something unconventional, breaking out of the mold, and daring to be different, daring to explore, daring to jump into adventure. So that's what I see that is being encouraged for you, to think differently, to kind of go beyond and try and explore your horizons for what is possible for you, what is possible for your life, for your journey. Because at this time, it seems that your comfort zone is keeping you very snug. It's keeping you very snugly in these walls, in this like confined space that you have identified and that you have familiarized yourself with. And it's almost like you are taking up this tiny little square, and there is all of this, like there's this whole universe outside of you, but you're not going outside of that little box, outside of that little square that you have put yourself in. And the message here is very clearly to dig deeper, to really dive deep into yourself, into all of the possibilities that are available to you. Maybe I'm getting the sense that there is so much that you haven't discovered about yourself, that so much that you could do, so much that you could be excited about. And most importantly, there is so much to your true self that you haven't found yet. And it's not to say that you're not like an authentic version of yourself or anything like that, but I'm getting the sense that there is so much more, but it just takes for you to be bold enough to try new things, to step out of that comfort zone of yours, and to actually put in effort to discover what lies at the deepest roots of you, what your authentic, your true, like soul level you is excited about, is yearning for, is interested in. Because right now it's clear to me that you are staying in a very safe space, and you are kind of keeping yourself restricted from veering off the beaten path, and actually discovering everything there is to find. And I do see that the truth of you lies in kind of unconventional places, in places that you maybe haven't thought to look at, or that you haven't, even if you've considered those, you maybe haven't actually tried those things, or you haven't put yourself in those situations or those circumstances to actually test them out. So I guess the best advice here is to start thinking of things that you have never done before, that you have never tried before, that you have never experienced before, and start creating these new situations for yourself. Start putting yourself in these new situations, these new experiences, and see what happens, because you never know what you might find. You never know what you might kind of stumble upon. And just to kind of give an example as well, to give you a better understanding of what I mean. Let's say that you have never gone hiking in your life because you've never like considered it, you've never thought anything of it. Maybe your parents when you were growing up weren't very outdoorsy people, so you've never gone hiking before, and you've never felt the urge to go into the woods or to go into nature like that. Maybe you are someone who very much enjoys the comforts of modern life, to take a shower and to go to sleep in a warm bed, and you're very like used to those creature comforts. But maybe if you just thought to yourself, okay, I've never tried it, I'll go hiking. Like, I'll go hiking with my friends for like, I don't know, half a day or whatever. If you don't want to stay overnight, just half a day or whatever. And when you go hiking, you might discover that it's something that like completely revitalizes you, or something that completely changes the way that you see the world. Maybe changes the way you see yourself and what you are able to do, what you are capable of doing. If you are put out of your comfort zone, if you are put in a situation where you maybe have to kind of think on your feet, or where you have to be adaptable, where you have to be flexible, when you have to be like kind of smart about what you do and how you conduct yourself and all those kinds of things. So yeah, it's just, you never know, right? Maybe hiking is something that you have been missing out on your whole life. And I mean, it's just one like silly example. It can actually like truly be anything. It can be like a hobby, like an artsy thing, or maybe some kind of crafts, or maybe, yeah, whatever. Honestly, it can be whatever. But yeah, just start trying to come up with things that you haven't tried before. And even if it's like little things that you can do throughout the day to kind of shake up your routine, even those things help as well to move you into that space where you are more comfortable with trying new things. So yeah, but let's see. I went off on quite a tangent there. Let's see what we can find out with the tarot cards as well. So let's look at how your current mindset is serving you and how it is restricting you. So let's start with serving. How is this current mindset of Aries serving them? Aha, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. It's interesting that you're also getting the Empress in reverse. Both of those are number 3s numerologically, with the Hanged Man being number 12, reducing down to 3, and the Empress being 3. But let's see how this mindset is restricting you. Okay. Interesting that we're getting some Pentacle cards. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse with the 10 of Pentacles. The 4 of Swords coming out in reverse. As the underlying energy. Okay. Yeah, the way that this mindset is serving you with the Hanged Man in reverse, I feel like it's keeping you out of uncomfortable situations. It's keeping you out of circumstances that make you feel maybe unsettled, or make you feel insecure, or just really just uncomfortable is probably the best way to say it. It's allowing you to have control of the situations that you find yourself in. So it's kind of just, it's keeping you safe. It's keeping you safe in this comfort that you're in. But again, at the same time, and I love that the card that came out is specifically the Hanged Man, because at the same time, it's almost like this shadow aspect of this mindset that you are in, or this restrictive aspect, is also mirrored in this card, saying that you are also limiting yourself from mental expansion, from seeing things from a more broad perspective, from gaining a broadened perspective. So you are kind of missing out in a way, by keeping yourself in your comfort zone. And even here we see the same thing. We have this King of Pentacles in reverse, and we have this Ten of Pentacles coming out as the manners in which this mindset is kind of restricting you. And it's interesting that the underlying energy is the Four of Swords, which is the card of like mental rest. It's kind of peace. And I feel like that's exactly what this is, that you are in a very like a peaceful state, because you don't really have to worry about anything. You don't really have to use your mind in a different way than you do on a day-to-day basis, because again, you are kind of keeping yourself from these situations that would test you more, that would almost force you to use your mind in a different way, to be more inventive, to be more creative. And again, I want to make it super clear, it's not like a judgment in any way, and I'm not saying that you are not a creative person, or that you are not an inventive person, or what, like, not saying any of that at all. What I'm saying is that by just kind of following your routine, and by doing the things that you always do day in, day out, and keeping yourself very much in the space that you feel the most comfortable at, you are depriving yourself of further growth, of further, like, expansion, I should say. And you can see that with these two cards as well, where again, there is so much, and I mean, even though this is coming through as pentacles, or coins, it doesn't have to mean that you are like actually materially losing out. But, I mean, for some of you, it could, if it's something to do with your work, your career path, your business, whatever it is. For some of you, like taking more risks and maybe like putting yourself out of your comfort zone, out of this space of safety that you are in, it might actually benefit you, like monetarily speaking as well. But just more generally, I feel like it would enrich your life so much more if you took a risk every once in a while and stepped into the uncomfortable space of the unknown. But let's move on to this new mindset, and let's see how this mindset, or what this mindset would help heal for you, and also how it would benefit you in the future. So let's see, what would this new mindset heal for Aries? We have the Nine of Wands with the World in reverse, and the Queen of Cups is the underlying energy. Okay, and let's see how it would benefit you in the future. How would this new mindset... Oh, thank you. And we have Strength with the Emperor in reverse. Interesting. This more open, this more adventurous mindset, this more daring mindset to kind of push yourself further than where you've been before. I feel that it would really break down some defenses of yours. Like, it would help make you more open to life in general, to other people. And I feel like it would bring about so much emotional fulfillment that you maybe didn't even know that you needed before, or that you were missing out on before. And for some of you, I'm getting a very clear message that the reason why you are so holding on to this comfort zone, why you don't want to experiment with new situations, new circumstances, is because you are trying to hold on to something that you have known, something that has been the same way in your life for a very long time, and you don't want the change. You don't want the change that is kind of, how should I say? You don't want the change that is almost like inevitable, because life is always changing. Nothing, and it's such a cliche thing to say, but it's true. Nothing ever stays the same. And it feels like that's exactly what you are kind of fighting against. At least for some of you. At least for some of you, this clinging to this comfort zone of yours is you trying to enjoy the things that you have right now while you still have them, and trying to make the most of them, trying to cling on to the way that things have always been. And it's almost like you're trying to fight off or guard yourself against the cycles of life, against the changes that come with time. And I just get the sense that if you tried these new things and maybe even discovered that you quite enjoy them, that they can bring you a lot of emotional fulfillment, and that there are a lot of positive sides to experiencing new things and stepping out of your comfort zone. I feel that you may discover that you actually quite enjoy those kinds of experiences, and that they maybe weren't as scary and as terrifying and as bad as you maybe thought. Because moving forward with this new mindset, I see so much confidence, so much self-assurance, so much resolve, and it's like these are like almost like polar opposites. These are polar opposites. And it's interesting that you are coming out as the underlying energy, coming out in reverse. And that's kind of telling me that you are going to be like letting go of this very tough armor and these very like set in your ways methods that you may be using, or that you may be used to right now. It really is. It's just beautiful. And it's so wholesome. It's so balanced. It's so harmonious, where again, it's almost like the fears that were holding you back before, you now see your fears completely differently. You have a completely different relationship to them, where your fears don't control you anymore. And it's not even that you control them, but you just accept them for what they are. And you kind of work together with them. You don't allow them to hold you back anymore. So yeah, I mean, wow, what a reading. I'm gonna leave it there so that I wouldn't start like kind of going over the same messages and the same words over and over and over. But yeah, it seems that the message here is fairly straightforward, and that's all there is to say. So yeah, I really actually enjoyed this reading. It was a lot of fun. And even though it maybe sounds a bit scary, the advice that is coming through, it's at the same time, it's really exciting as well. Really exciting. So yeah, but I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much, my sweet Aries, for watching, and I do hope that this reading was beneficial to you in some way. Now, if you did resonate with this story, you know that I always appreciate if you let me know that you resonated with this. You can do the liking and the subscribing and the commenting and all of that. I would really, really appreciate it if you did any or all of those things. I truly do appreciate it. And I do hope that I get to see you again in the next one. But yeah, thank you so much one more time. Please take care of yourselves, my sweet Aries. I am sending you so much love and light, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.